Hi, I'm Elian. Most people think their siblings are annoying, but trust me, my relationship with my sister Vanessa was different. We actually got along pretty well, or so I thought. We shared an apartment in the city, splitting rent and utilities 50-50, which made life more affordable for both of us. Hey V, I'm heading out to Ryan's cabin this weekend, I announced, tossing my duffel bag by the door. Remember I told you about the guy's trip? 4-hour drive, but totally worth it for that lake view. Vanessa looked up from her laptop, her face oddly expressionless. Right, the trip. You've been talking about it nonstop for weeks. Because it's going to be epic. First real vacation in over a year. I grabbed a soda from the fridge. You sure you'll be okay here alone? Please, Vanessa rolled her eyes. I survived 23 years before you moved in. I think I can handle a weekend. She closed her laptop with a sharp snap. Actually, I've been meaning to talk to you about something. What's up? I popped the tab on my drink. I'm thinking about moving out, getting my own place. She twisted a strand of hair around her finger, her nervous tell since we were kids. I nearly choked on my soda. What? Why? I thought this arrangement was working great. It's just time for a change, she said, avoiding eye contact. We're adults. Siblings aren't supposed to live together forever. This is kind of out of nowhere, V. Is everything okay? Everything's fine, she said quickly. Just thinking about the future. Anyway, don't you need to finish packing? Already done. I studied her face, trying to read her expression. You sure there's nothing else going on? Positive. She stood up. Oh, I almost forgot. I borrowed your car yesterday to grab groceries. Thanks for letting me use it. No problem, but you didn't ask. Well, you weren't home, and my car's still in the shop. She shrugged. No big deal, right? That's what family's for. The next morning, I loaded my car and hit the road by 7 a.m. About an hour into my drive, my phone pinged with a message from Vanessa. By the time you read this, it'll be too late. Sorry, it had to be this way. Goodbye, Elian. I stared at the message, confused and alarmed. What did she mean by too late? I tried calling her back immediately, but it went straight to voicemail. That's when my car started making a strange knocking sound. What the hell? I muttered, gripping the steering wheel tighter. The knocking got louder, followed by a grinding noise from under the hood. Smoke began seeping through the air vents. I managed to pull over just as the engine died completely. My phone rang. It was Marco, my best friend since college. Dude, where are you? He asked. Ryan's getting antsy. My car just died on Highway 16, I explained, my mind racing. And Vanessa sent me this super creepy message. What message? I read it to him. Holy shit, Marco breathed. You think she... I don't know what to think, I interrupted. Can you come get me? I'm about an hour outside the city. On my way. Don't go anywhere. I hung up and popped the hood, though I barely knew what I was looking at. Steam billowed out and something smelled burnt. As I waited for Marco, I kept rereading Vanessa's message. The implications were starting to sink in, turning my confusion into a cold, creeping dread. No way this was an accident, Kelly declared, wiping her hands on a rag. Kelly was Marco's cousin and the best mechanic in town. We'd towed my car straight to her garage after Marco picked me up. Someone deliberately damaged your brake lines and drained most of your coolant. There's also sugar in your gas tank. Are you absolutely sure? I asked, my stomach churning. Been a mechanic for 15 years, Kelly said, crossing her arms. I know sabotage when I see it. This was methodical. Whoever did this wanted to make sure you'd break down in the middle of nowhere. Or worse. Marco whistled low. And your sister borrowed your car yesterday? I nodded, still struggling to process it all, and then sent me that message once I was on the road. You need to call the police, Kelly insisted, her voice firm. This isn't a prank. This is attempted... She stopped herself. Attempted what? I pressed. Kelly and Marco exchanged glances. Murder, Marco finally said. Elian, your sister tried to kill you. That's ridiculous, I protested weakly. Vanessa and I have our differences, but she wouldn't... Then how do you explain this? Kelly pointed to the damaged components. And that message? By the time you read this, it'll be too late. What else could that mean? My phone buzzed with a call from my cousin, Damon, Vanessa's staunchest defender since childhood. Elian, what the hell? Vanessa's freaking out because you're not answering her calls. She's calling me? I checked my phone. No missed calls from her. She says she's been trying to reach you all morning. Something about a mistake she made. Oh, she made a mistake, all right, I snapped. She tampered with my car after borrowing it yesterday, then sent me a goodbye message once I was on the road. That's insane, Damon scoffed. Vanessa wouldn't do something like that. You're always making her out to be the bad guy. The mechanic confirmed it was sabotage, Damon, and I've got the message right here. You're overreacting, Damon insisted. It's probably a misunderstanding. Maybe she meant she was moving out while you were gone. A goodbye to your living arrangement? By making sure my car broke down in the middle of nowhere? How does that make any sense? Look, she's my cousin too, and I know her better than you think. There's no way she'd try to hurt you. Then put her on the phone, I challenged. Let her explain herself. She's not with me, Damon backpedaled. I just talked to her earlier. Convenient. I ended the call, fuming. We need a plan, Marco said, pacing. We should talk to Officer Bennett. He handled that hit-and-run case for my brother last year. Totally solid guy. I'll write up a full report on the car damage, Kelly offered. Document everything with photos. And I've still got the text, I added, feeling a strange calm settling over me. Plus, there might be security footage from our apartment building showing her near my car yesterday. Good thinking, Marco nodded. We'll gather everything and then confront her. But not alone. You bring backup. And what if Damon's right? I asked quietly. What if there's some explanation? Kelly placed a hand on my shoulder. Elian, I've seen car accidents and I've seen sabotage. This was deliberate. Someone wanted to hurt you. And based on what you've told us, that someone is your sister. Officer Bennett reviewed the evidence in our living room while Vanessa sat stiffly on the couch. She'd returned to the apartment that evening, acting surprised to see me, Marco, and the police officer waiting. So you're saying you didn't tamper with your brother's vehicle? Bennett asked, thumbing through Kelly's detailed report. Of course not, Vanessa exclaimed, her voice higher than normal. Why would I do that? Elian's my brother. Then explain this, I said, showing her the text message. What did you mean by it'll be too late and goodbye? Vanessa's eyes widened. I didn't mean it like that. I was talking about me moving out. I found a place and signed the lease yesterday. I was going to be gone by the time you got back from your trip. That doesn't explain why you sabotaged my car, I pressed, keeping my voice steady despite the anger boiling inside me. I didn't, Vanessa protested, looking frantically at Officer Bennett. Someone else must have done it. Maybe at the grocery store when I borrowed it? Marco snorted. In broad daylight? In a busy parking lot with security cameras? Come on. Miss Rodriguez, Officer Bennett said calmly, we have security footage from your apartment garage showing you underneath your brother's car for approximately 20 minutes yesterday afternoon. Vanessa's face drained of color. I dropped my earring. It rolled under the car. For 20 minutes? I asked incredulously. And what about the sugar in my gas tank? The cut brake lines? I don't know anything about that, Vanessa insisted, tears forming in her eyes. Elian, you have to believe me. I'm your sister. The sister who sent me a goodbye message right when my car would start breaking down. The sister who borrowed my car without permission right before I needed it for a long trip. I made a mistake, okay? Her tone shifted suddenly to pleading. I was angry with you. You got that promotion I was counting on at work. They chose you over me even though I've been there longer. I stared at her, stunned. What are you talking about? The regional manager position. Trevor told me you were selected instead of me. After I've worked there for 3 years and you've barely been there for 18 months. Vanessa, I said slowly, I turned down that promotion 2 weeks ago. I told Trevor I wasn't interested in relocating. You're lying, she whispered, but uncertainty flickered across her face. Miss Rodriguez, Officer Bennett interjected, are you admitting to tampering with your brother's vehicle because of a workplace rivalry? No, she covered her face with her hands. It wasn't supposed to happen like that. The car was just supposed to break down close to home. You weren't supposed to be on the highway. So you did sabotage the car, Bennett confirmed. Elian? Vanessa looked at me with tears streaming down her face. I'm so sorry. I was just so angry and jealous. I wasn't thinking straight. Please, you have to forgive me. We're family. I stood up, my hands shaking with rage. Family doesn't try to kill each other over a job promotion, especially one I didn't even take. I wasn't trying to kill you, she shrieked. I just wanted to ruin your stupid trip, to make you feel as bad as I did. By cutting my brake lines? By making sure my car would break down on a dangerous highway? She lunged forward suddenly, grabbing my shirt. You've always had everything handed to you. It's not fair. Officer Bennett quickly stepped between us. Miss Rodriguez, I'm placing you under arrest for attempted murder and criminal sabotage. You can't do this to me, Vanessa screamed as Bennett cuffed her. Elian, tell him. Tell him it was a misunderstanding. Elian, please. I watched in silence as Officer Bennett read her rights. "I hate you," she spat as Bennett led her toward the door. "You'll regret this." 6 months later, I sat across from Marco at our favorite coffee shop. The trial had concluded the previous week with Vanessa being sentenced to 8 years for attempted murder. "How's the new place?" Marco asked, stirring his coffee. "It's good. Smaller, but it's just me, so it works." I took a sip of my drink. "Still feels weird sometimes." "Having your own place?" "Having a sister in prison," I clarified. "My parents still won't talk to me. They think I should have dropped the charges." "After what she did?" Marco scoffed. "She's lucky that's all she got." Kelly slid into the booth beside us, dropping her bag on the floor. "Sorry I'm late. Car trouble. The ironic kind, not the homicidal kind." "Very funny," I said, but I smiled despite myself. "Have you heard from her?" Kelly asked cautiously. I nodded. "She keeps sending letters. Always the same thing. How sorry she is. How she wasn't thinking clearly. How she needs her family." "And?" Marco raised an eyebrow. "And I haven't responded," I said firmly. The prosecutor said her remorse is just manipulation. Classic behavior for someone like her. "Someone like her," Kelly repeated. "It's still hard to believe your own sister could—" "I know," I sighed. "Trust me, no one was more surprised than me." Officer Bennett approached our table, now in civilian clothes. "Mind if I join you folks?" "Please," I gestured to the empty chair. "Just wanted to let you know," Bennett said, sitting down. "Your sister's appeal was denied. The sentence stands." I exhaled slowly. "Good." "Also," Bennett continued, "her former roommate came forward. Apparently Vanessa had been planning this for weeks. The promotion thing was just her latest justification." "I still don't get it," I admitted. "We were never in serious competition before." "Some people hide who they really are," Bennett said, "even from family, especially from family." My phone buzzed with a text from Damon. "V's asking to see you, just once, please." I showed it to the others. "You don't owe her anything," Marco said immediately. "But she is still your sister," Kelly pointed out, then quickly added, "Not that you should forgive her." "What would you do?" I asked Bennett. He considered for a moment. "In my experience, closure comes from moving forward, not looking back. But that's your call." I typed my response to Damon. "Tell Vanessa I said goodbye, that's all she gets." "You know," Marco said after a pause, "you never did get to take that trip to the lake." I laughed for what felt like the first time in months. "Maybe it's time to reschedule. New car, new apartment, new beginning." "I'll check your engine first," Kelly offered with a wink. As they discussed potential dates, I found myself thinking about roads not taken, how a single decision, a single betrayal could alter everything. My sister had chosen her path. Now I was choosing mine. "So what do you think?" I looked at my friends. "Ready for a fresh start?" What would you do if someone you trusted completely betrayed you like this? Would you ever be able to forgive them? Or is some damage beyond repair? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.